What is up, everybody? Solomon here. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. Massive news coming out today. We're going to talk about a massive win for the XRP community from the legal standpoint. We're going to talk first and foremost about QNB, which is Qatar National Bank, and Ripple. Now, this isn't just an individual bank. This is QNB Group. They are monstrous. Largest financial institution in the Middle East and in Africa. We're also going to touch base a little bit on Hedera Hashgraph, Metaverse, and maybe some different resources that you could utilize to potentially research into some of these newer projects on these more so efficient networks with more utility. And last but not least, there's some very interesting Flare and Alliance block developments. All right, so first and foremost, I am going to keep this short. QNB and Ripple partner to enhance global cross-border payments. Now, like I said before, QNB is the largest financial institution in the Middle East and Africa. Now, this was just announced today that they unveiled their global strategy for cross-border payments with the launch of a remittance service developed in partnership with Ripple, the leading provider of enterprise blockchain solutions. According to this agreement, QNB will initially pilot Ripple's global financial network technology, RippleNet. Now, we do know that all of Ripple's products at this point in time are wrapped up into RippleNet. So do not mistake this. This does not mean that they have to utilize the digital asset XRP, but we also know that RippleNet has the option to enable institutions that are on RippleNet to easily and seamlessly connect with XRP based on everything that we've already seen in the past at basically the flip of a switch. Okay, now, I'm not going to go overly in depth into this. You can look at this. Interestingly enough for me, currently ranked as the most valuable bank brand in the Middle East and Africa, is proud to be the official Middle East and Africa sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 2022 and the official Qatari bank of the FIFA Cup Club World Cup Qatar 2020. Now, this is big, though. The group, the Qatar National Bank Group, QNB Group, extends to more than 31 countries across 3 continents, providing a comprehensive range of advanced products and services. Total number of employees is 28,000, serving approximately 20 million customers, operating through 1,000 locations with an ATM network of more than 4,600 machines. A lot of this stuff together that I'm going to be presenting to you tonight will basically just kind of let you know that the train has already left the station. QNB's fact sheet here. This is all of the holdings, all of the subsidiaries that fall within the QNB Group. You can research out these if you want to. This is the ownership that QNB Group has in these subsidiaries. We can see some pretty monstrous names here as well. Kind of that international footprint once again. Global Finance Magazine, just some different publications that have mentioned them in the past. Bloomberg Markets mentioning them as one of the world's strongest banks. So this is just more validation that what Ripple is doing is certainly working. Total assets under management for QNB Group in 2020 was $282 billion. Massive. Now, this is the news that I think a lot of us have kind of been waiting for. We've got the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit going on. And really, one of the main proponents for the XRP community has been John Deaton this entire time. He obviously runs the Crypto Law Twitter as well. Just a massive contributor. Whatever I would say in words would not give the amount of thanks that gentleman is deserved. James K. Filan, though, he had put this out today, and I think this is a very succinct way of putting this. So he tags the XRP community, the SEC, and Ripple. Breaking, and this is a thread, so one of 3. The court gives John Deaton the power to brief questions of law on behalf of individual movements. This is a huge win for the XRP community because the interests of the individual movements and the XRP community are aligned. 2 of 3, the court stated that movements in their individual capacities shall be permitted to act as amici curiae in this action. As such, movements shall be amici curiae, by the way, and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, stands for, in Latin, friends of the court or a friend of the court. As such, movements shall be allowed to assist the court by briefing legal issues relevant to the case as approved in advance by the court. Essentially, and I could be wrong here, and I'm sure that John is going to say that everybody that's doing news on this is wrong. It's almost like an advisement aspect that is coming from a third party that is almost like a legal matter expert from the blockchain aspect, and almost that advisement capability as a friend of the court to the court. So I think that we're going to get a little bit of movement as far as talking to the judge and everybody else about, what the XRP community's standpoint is on the digital asset XRP. Obviously, me personally, I understand that I never partook in any sort of an investment contract with Ripple. Ripple is one wheel in the cog of what I believe XRP's value to be. And I hope that these things get translated out to the court as well. And make no mistake about it, the way that this case is going is going to have watershed effects on multiple different digital asset platforms out there, depending on how this shakes out. So, and let's go to 3 of 3 here. Like I said, briefing legal issues relevant to the case as approved in advance by the court. 3 of 3, the court contemplates that such assistance will be most beneficial during briefing on dispositive motions, but may exercise its discretion to request or deny further applications as appropriate. Big congratulations to John Deaton. Decision in Crypto Law U.S. Library above. He links it, obviously. This is Judge Torres granting amici status to John Deaton. Essentially, now John is basically a friend of the court in this hearing. And John, as we all know, has been a proponent and a supporter and one of the main catalysts for change and kind of that leading horse for every single XRP community member. And I just wanted to give a gigantic thank you to John. It's absolutely amazing. We saw Crypto Wolf come in here. Now they're saying, however, this is John, basically, however, in order to maintain the balance between parties and a friend of the court will not permit movements as friends of the court to offer evidence. So John may not be able to offer evidence or present witnesses, but he can certainly advise the court and brief them on certain matters, which is just gigantic. So fantastic. I mean, that's a gigantic win for us, I believe. All right, now I don't know if anybody caught this today because I just posted this probably an hour ago, but I saw it. And now that the cat's out of the bag, I guess. I will say that there are discussions between Alliance Block and Flare, and I tried to garner that relationship via an introduction between some of the bigwigs at Alliance Block and some of the bigwigs at Flare. Since the cat's out of the bag, I guess I will take it upon myself. This was about 2 weeks ago, and I got a message from an individual at Alliance Block basically stating that there are great conversations going on. Great call with Hugo and Dominic. It was absolutely amazing. There are amazing synergies, as we discussed, and amazing that you saw this since the beginning. We will continue the discussion and see through the next steps, and I will update you at every step, which, I would certainly never share any of that type of information, but obviously the eyeballs here from Rashid are eye-opening to me as well. This post, to put this into context, is an individual put out all of the partnerships that Alliance Block has. Alliance Block replied saying, soon you won't have to imagine the scope. XCrypto at XCrypto_value posted, is at Alliance Block considering to build a bridge into Flare networks? And obviously Rashid responds with the eyeballs. All right. Just, as a final little tiny portion of this, amicus curiae, Latin for friend of the court. So we do know that John is essentially going to be a friend of the court at this point in time. Last but not least, I wanted to talk a little bit about Hedera Hashgraph's ecosystem with NFTs and Metaverse. And one of the most fully comprehensive lists that I have found out there is just a fantastic content provider. This is Hbar to the Moon. On Twitter, it's at Hbar_2_moon. And this dude has put together one of the best and most concise consolidated lists of all of the Hedera initiatives going on. Whether you're interested in, and I'm not affiliated with him whatsoever, I just really, really respect what he's put together here. All the use cases, CBDCs, decentralized identity, NFTs, DeFi, micropayments, proof of action, stablecoin, supply chain, etc., etc. We see all the talk about NFTs right now, and he puts together just an insanely concise list about what these projects are. Now, a couple of these ones that really stuck out to me. This is a lot of people are misreading this. It's not VSES, it's Access. Okay. And Access is dealing very much so succinctly into the metaverse. I am also not affiliated with them. I do know, based on knowledge and research and a few discussions and some things I may or may not be able to talk about, but I'll give you a little bit of a background here. I believe that Hedera Hashgraph, and through all the initiatives, the Hbar Foundation, everything else, I believe very much so that Hedera is probably a kraken, just waiting for the time to really release all of the initiatives that are being built. I think that we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg, and I think that the NFTs and the Metaverse, just as one use case on Hashgraph, I think when those launch, and those launch with interoperability mechanisms, and those launch with scale, enterprise-grade scale, I think it's going to be absolutely insane. And I think that I know that 99.9% of the digital asset space is not talking about what Hedera Hashgraph is going to be doing with NFTs or the Metaverse. And it's a mistake, because they're going to be a monster, and I would arguably say that they may literally take the whole cake. So this is Access. This is one of them. They're obviously building out the Metaverse. None of this is financial advice whatsoever. I just know, based on research, that any single initiative that's launching on Hashgraph, as far as the Hedera token service, dealing in NFTs and Metaverse, I'm paying attention to it, and I'm going to try to participate in those ecosystems. Access had a very long call today on Twitter Spaces, just to kind of even get more so into the transparency and the openness. So, you want to talk about an ecosystem that is fully encompassing and supporting each other. I have not seen anything like what I've seen in Hedera's NFT and Metaverse ecosystem. Every single project being launched is supporting every single other project. And to be quite frank with you, it's certainly refreshing, because, the competition is going to be there, and the competition is good. But to really build out where this ecosystem goes on a network that has inherent utility, like what I believe that Hedera Hashgraph does, it's going to take everybody working together. And it's just amazing to see all of the collaborations that are going on across the space. I mean, they've got HGraph Punks and the Shady's one, and Access, and I think Aeon is one. I mean, there's so many of them right now. And I will say that the Metaverse drop that came out of Access, which is the Metacore, they sold out. They sold out of the antimatter drop. There's two more that are still around right now. I think based on that Twitter Spaces chat and future Twitter Spaces chats that they're certainly going to have, and being able to disclose more about the utility of that platform in the future, I can't imagine that these stay around for very, very long at the prices that they're at, unless they're on a secondary market. Again, that's not financial advice. You can get down into perks here. You can go over, what some of these individuals that are now a part of this ecosystem have dealt with previously. Co-founder and CEO has been engaged in the NFT space since 2018. Previous engagements with major brands such as Disney, Sony Pictures, IMAX, etc., etc., etc. And, even listening to that chat today, they understand where the space goes. They bring up the Ready Player One analogy about where Metaverse goes eventually. But it takes building blocks to get to that point in time. And, I certainly will be participating in as many Twitter chats and as many different initiatives going on throughout the Hedera ecosystem with NFTs and everything else. They understand tokenization and NFTs, dealing in real estate, certainly digital identity and all of this as well. So talk about enterprise-grade Metaverse was really enlightening today, because right now we're just seeing Metaverse on Ethereum, which is fantastic. I mean, Ethereum has a network effect, and I'm very glad that Ethereum has done as well as it has. But I think that we all know the gas fees are unsustainable. So, imagine an actual enterprise, a legacy institution that wants to get into Metaverse. And it was alluded to during the call today that that's certainly the case. I think Microsoft was brought up, or maybe it was Apple. And imagine if dealing on the Ethereum network, if they want to potentially mint a pair of socks for an avatar, and the gas fee is $1,500 to do that on Ethereum. Certainly not enterprise grade, in my opinion. And that's, the last thing I do want to say is that, we're seeing Hedera with their grants, the Hbar Foundation, certainly an amazing initiative, $5 billion worth of Hbar, which is at that time about 11 billion Hbar. And now we see Ripple coming out with something just as unique and just as value creating potential within the Ripple net ecosystem in the XRPL. So, these don't ever take for granted the assets that you hold that have utility from a speed, from a cost standpoint, because these are the ones that are going to usurp the assets that cannot keep up. And that is all that I really want to say in this video. I think the QNB group, RippleNet News, is amazing. Again, just a gigantic shout out to John Deaton, all the work that he's put in. We're starting to finally see the fruits of his labor, and his labor has been intense. The amount of work he's put in is just absolutely insane. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to give that dude just a gigantic thank you from the entire XRP community. And yeah, let's pay attention to everything that's going on in these ecosystems with utility. Make no mistake about it, Metaverse is going to be gigantic. Enterprise-grade Metaverse even more so. Tokenization of everything, including real estate, including yourself at some point, as scary as that gets. But let's see where it goes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that I can make more soon. I appreciate all the support from this entire community about all of the stuff going on within my family over the past 3 to 4 weeks. So I love you guys, and I will talk to you guys very shortly. All right, bye.